Hello and welcome back everyone to this channel, and today in this video tutorial I will tell you how you can extract the unique values from a list if your list contains a duplicate values. So for that we will use three methods. First we will use the for loop, then we will use a set method, and lastly we will use a list comprehension. So let's start. Okay, now suppose here we have the list. So here this is the list, and suppose this list contains a list of numbers. So number is like a 2, 4, 5, 6, then 2. As you can see, this list contains a duplicate numbers, and the 2 number you can see here, this is the 2 and it appears 2 times in the list, you can see. So here we will use the for loop. Okay, so first here we will create a empty list. In this list we will store the unique values from the list. Okay, let's see how to do that. So create unique list which is a empty list, then run a for loop on this list for then num in list. It allows you to iterate over this list, and then allows you to access each values each item of the list. So here num represent, here this num represent the item of the list like a 2, 4, 5, 6 in each iteration. Now then we will take each number and check if that number exists in this empty list or not. Okay, so for that here we are going to write a condition: if num not in unique list, then add that number to the unique empty list. Okay, the list that we have created here, this is the logic. Append then num. So here what is happening, this for loop iterating over the each item of the list, and then this num represent the each item in each iteration. So after that we are checking if num and that number not in a unique list, then add that number to this empty list using the append function here, you can see. Okay, so let's run this code, but before that we will print unique list like this and execute this code. Okay, so now you can see here the unique list contains a 2, 4, 5, 6, and these are the unique values. So there is no duplicate of any of the values in this list. So simply this for loop iterate over each item of the list and then checks if that item exists in the unique list or not. If that item exists, then it does not perform this append operation and it skips that number. So here in this case it adds 2, 4, 5, 6. When in the last iteration it found 2, it checks if that number exists in the unique list or not. And as it found, because it already in the first time added this number in the list, and then it found that this number already exists, so it skips that number, that duplicate number, and print the whole list, you can see here. So this is how you can use the for loop to extract unique values from a list in Python. Next, we will use the set method to extract unique values from the list. And remember, this set method returns a object, so we will need to convert back into this object to a list, remember. So let's do that. So here we're going to take the same list, this is the list. So create a new variable called a uList, which will contain a unique values, and then call a set method, and to this set method pass the list. And let's do that. Okay, let's copy this one and paste it here. Now again execute this and it is executed. Okay, now let's print the print uList. So extracted the unique values from the list we want in the format of list, as you can see the curly braces. So for that we need to convert this object into a list using the list constructor of a Python. So here type a print and then within print specify list constructor, which converts the given object into a list. So here object is the uList, a object returned by the set method. Now execute this code and we get the error. So I think it is not going to convert this list of numbers. So here I'm going to change this list to a string, some string values. I'm going to copy this. Sorry, I'm going to remove all of this and then paste this string, and instead of this pass candidate like this, and execute this line of code. Also execute this one, and now execute this. So we get error. Why? I don't know what is happening. Okay, so here I'm going to disconnect and delete the runtime. Now I will again reconnect. So here I'm using Google Colab. Maybe it can be problem of Colab. So let's come back and again these lines of code. Now then look, it converted the given list of objects or containing a string objects into a list using the list constructor like this. So that was the problem of the Colab environment. Now we have a last method, which is list comprehension. So we will use this concept to extract a unique values from a list, and for this I'm going to use the same list which is a candidates. You can see here. So here first we will create a unique states name empty list which will contain the unique values from the list. Then within a square bracket, in a list comprehension we run the for loop and some expression, okay, if required. So here we'll check for name in candidates, and if you remember, here I'm going to use the same logic that here we used in the for loop, like a for num in list, for num not in unique list, like this. Okay, so for name in candidates, then for each name we are checking if name not in unique states. Okay, so we are checking each name in this empty list. If this name does not exist, this means we need to add that name into this empty list. So here we will call unique states dot append, then pass the name. Now let's execute this code, and if you see none none none, don't worry. Now if you print unique states, okay, and here I think we should be states. Now again execute. You can see it only contains the unique values from the list Biden, Trump, Sanders. Okay, so this is our candidates list. You can see here we are using this list. It contains two duplicate value. The duplicate value is the string Biden. Okay, now when we use this list comprehension, we are using the for loop to iterating over each of the name in the candidates list, then taking each name and checking if that name exists in the unique states. Okay, if that name does not exist in the unique state list that we created here, then add that name to the empty or unique state list using the append method. Okay, then it again takes the next string and checks if that exists. If it is a true, then it does not add that name in the unique state list, and it skips that name and check other name. And using the same operation, same concept, it adds only the unique values in the unique states list. You can see here. So I hope that you understand how you can extract unique values from list using the for loop, set, and list comprehension method. So at last I want to say, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, and thank you.